Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's July 12th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And I thought I'd start by looking at the weekly chart again. You can see the measured move. We overshot that. Here's your first leg up, and then we had the little correction here, and then your second leg up. And we've overshot that. We're also getting back up into the oversold area again. Doesn't mean we can't keep going higher by any means. But if you notice, we bounced right off that midline again and took off higher. So this market just doesn't want to quit. It just keeps going higher and higher. And every correction, you can see we've had a few corrections here. Every one of them just led to good buying points again, all the way up here. Once these corrections subsided, usually there's just a couple of legs back and it starts all over again. So um, my guess is we're going to at least test this 4,400. We got close today. Where did we get to? Let me look here. We got to, looks like the high 43.79, so we're only about 20 points away. So wouldn't surprise me if we don't hit that before we at least back up or correct or go sideways or whatever we're going to do. So I just wouldn't spell this, rule anything out in this market right now. Uh, we are getting into oversold territory again, so uh, but we're trending higher and it's continuing to go. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's go over to the other chart. All right, here's our intraday chart, 2000 tick. Not a lot of trades today. This was a really strong trend. We came up, we had this break of the blue channel. It's a spiking channel. Notice how we spiked up, went into the channel. We had the correction here and then started a new channel, and that went right into the close. It just continued to go higher. So not a lot of trading opportunity. Really, after 9 o'clock, it looked like this was going to be a really strong day, and then it just kind of, there's not, there really wasn't much after 9 o'clock, to be honest with you. Really, here's where 9 o'clock hit, and after that, there's not a whole lot. I mean, you really see one decent trade there. So if you didn't find any trades this afternoon, even though this was a good trend, you wouldn't be alone. So there just wasn't much happening. So let's back out. We'll go through these. Probably won't take but a few minutes because there's not many of them. But early on, it looked like it may be a range. Here's your overnight highs, overnight lows, and we're trading within that. So, and we bounced off the lows, made a higher low. Notice the new low right there, and you get a first entry. You push through the EMA, you pull back, and it fails real quick and gives you a failed second entry short. Normally, you would like to see this off the EMA, but that's really close on a fairly strong move, and it is right off the key entry point, the trend line, and that confirms the trend line pretty much. So I like going long there. And if you get that one trade, that's all you need today. So you catch that, you catch a runner, and you're probably done before 8 o'clock. So that's the kind of trades I like to get early on. Then if you just wait, you get a break, new high, and then you pull back and you get a first entry, and you pull back, you get a second entry right there. Unfortunately, that's not a good enough signal bar for a second entry, but notice there's a new low, and you get a first entry, second entry. So there's a little bit of a trap. So when you combine those, I think it's fine to go long there. And that does kind of confirm that trend line. We bounced off it once, twice, three times. We run on up, we come back again, you get a first entry, you pull back, and you get a second entry here with another nice signal bar with plenty of room to get out. Uh, it runs right on up and you get out of the scalp, but then it just kind of goes sideways. Uh, I like this one. You get another pullback to the key entry point. It's a breakout pullback, but more than that, and you can see you got all this resistance here that now looks like it may act as support, but more than anything, you got the key entry point of the trend line and the EMA. But this is basically a double bottom, so it's a first entry, second entry. So it's not only that, it's a failed second entry short. It's a pretty good signal bar. There is a little bit of a hidden second entry there too that you could have traded. So a few reasons to like that. And then of course there's another failure here. Notice that's if you count that as that's basically another new double bottom there. So a new low. So first entry, second entry. And I don't know which way that broke first. I wasn't watching when this set up here, so I'm not sure which way it broke first. But it either went, but either way, I don't think I would wait until this closed and go long right there. I think the only way I would is if it broke higher and I dropped a limit order back here, which obviously you could have got filled on that, but I would have waited on that. I don't think I'd go long at the high of this bar right here, right into that high. It is a trap, so, but you see how it struggles to push on up. It would have worked, but you just can't risk it. So that one's a little bit, depending on how that's set up. If it broke lower and then turned up, I like going long on engulfing bar on the failed second entry short. We run up here. There's actually another second entry right here, but that's just an inside bar. I don't trust that with that big bar, and we didn't get back up to the highs. I've actually got this in the wrong place here. Should be right across there. But we still didn't get back up there to those highs, and that's a little concerning. We're probably going to overshoot it on this side by that much at least, and we end up getting a big break here and moving down. It looks like we get an overshoot right here, but it's really hard to say that this is not just two-tiered and that's not an overshoot, but we never come back, so it doesn't. That leads me to believe it's probably an overshoot, although these micro channels, you don't always get a retest on them. And there's another way to look at this. This really looks sideways and like a failed breakout. So you might have just say, hey, the trend doesn't start till right here. And that looks pretty valid to me right there. So either way, that's probably valid with inside the other one. Still, you don't get any kind of retest. And it could be that this is a little low. No, that's not what I wanted. Could be it's more like that, and you still don't, you get a little bit of a closeout side right there. It's not very convincing though. So either way you play it, the next thing you know, you get a reversal pattern right here. Notice the new low, and it goes up first entry and then second entry, and that's a classic that sets up pretty nicely. It's a quick, easy scalp, but you don't get anything more out of it. Then we're just going sideways again. And we bounce here. We're working up. I don't see anything. You don't want to enter in here, and I wouldn't take a failure here on the to the short side, especially not on an inside bar. And you just don't get anything to the long side here. You could have looked at this as a first entry, second entry that fails, but with that, you've already kind of got a close outside a new high, and this is, I'd want to wait till at least a new low here in the second entry. And you can see how that's just stacking sideways there. But it does get a close outside new low. You may take that second entry. I still don't like the way it's setting up. Odds are prices are trying to come back to this trend line, and you don't have enough evidence there that we're going to bounce off that EMA, and so I just think that's really risky. And you see it again here, and again it would have worked. That's a double top, so first entry, second entry, but again I don't like it. You came so close to getting stopped out there, but it would have worked. And then that just really, there's nothing else going on there, and that takes you into 2 o'clock. So I just learned a lot of trades this afternoon. I mean, this started off as such a strong move out of here, and we still got, I mean, if you go from the lows right here, 43.66 all the way to the high of the day, 43.79. So that's, it's 13 points or so there. But you just don't really get a lot of setups. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But early morning was pretty good, and this was pretty obvious and fairly easy to find. So that first failure right there, trap, that was a great trade. And of course, if you're not a real experienced price action trader, you probably won't be taking those trades, so you would have had even less opportunity today, because you'd probably be waiting on the second entries with a trend, and there just weren't many of them. So it's the way it goes. But it's Monday, and I was out of pocket over the weekend, so I'm a little behind. So I'm going to wrap it up where I can get caught up on my email and maybe try to read some stuff in the forum. I'm a little behind in the forum too, because I was gone all weekend, and I just hadn't had a chance to do much of anything but try to catch up today. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac.
with priceactiontrading system.com, and we'll see you next